everyone, I am here in the beautiful city of Chennai. I didn't spend most of my time here. I've only been here for a couple of days since I spend most of my time with my mom's side of my family, but now I'm with my dad's side of the family. This place is so amazing and so beautiful, and just like every single part of India, it's so busy all the time. The roads are so much different, but I've been all over the place. For example, I just went shopping and I bought this really cool bun maker thing. I've never seen anything like this in America, and never for anything so cheap. But I learned a lot of things while I was in India. A lot of things about the society here, and a lot of things that I never even thought of before. Like, for example, the first place I went to was Bombay. I still call it Bombay, but it's actually called Mumbai now. So there is the situation, like, as soon as I came here, I noticed this, like, the second or third thing I noticed after noticing that the driver's side, like in a car, is on the wrong side than in America, and after noticing the heat, I noticed that there are so many stray dogs around. Like, they're just walking by, and sometimes I see them without any legs, or sometimes with scars across their body, and it's so sad to see, because most people are at least a little bit aware of the poverty situation in India, but no one realizes how the same thing applies for dogs, and they can't even beg for themselves. They just walk around and gain sympathy from others. For example, my grandma, who, her neighbor where we were staying in Bombay/Mumbai, she feeds all 22 dogs in that small complex. And she even adopted one of the dogs, who is named Rusty. And Rusty is so adorable, but every time that someone tries to, like, come too close to her, like, all of a sudden she flinches backwards, and that just makes me so sad, because I think of what were the situations that she faced before. The second place that I went to was Bangalore, which is where I stayed most of the time, because that was where my mom's side of the family was, specifically my grandparents and my aunt and my only first cousin on my mom's side. In Bangalore, it is a lot less hot than here and a lot less humid. But even though there isn't as many mosquitoes in Chennai, there are a lot of mosquitoes in Bangalore. But the thing that I noticed most about Bangalore, and actually all of India, was the poverty. Because, like, I saw this, just to give you an idea, I see people begging around all the time, and I'm really sad that I can only give them, like, 10 rupees, which is not even close to 50 cents. As an equivalent, and that's only to one people, and there's thousands of people, maybe even more, in India that are homeless or are suffering from poverty. In Bangalore, there was this girl that walked by, the watchman's daughter, I believe. I'm not entirely sure if she was homeless or just lived in a, like, not very comfortable situation. But she was 9, and she was carrying a little baby, and she was just walking by, and she looked like she was, like, struggling, you know, because she was wearing the thinnest clothing she could, but she seemed so tired. And I tried to talk to her, but again, the language barrier, since I only know English and she only knows Hindi. And so, just to help her out, because I knew I had to do something, I just gave her a couple pieces of handy, and she was so happy to receive them, and I really wish I could have done more, but I don't know how much more I could have done, and I really hope she's doing better now. And I mean, she was actually one of the more fortunate ones, just thinking how other people live if that's how she lives. In Mangalore, I only stayed for a couple of days near Someshwar Beach, which is a beautiful beach with amazing waves. Like, the ocean is like, oh my god. But it's during monsoon season, so I couldn't exactly go in the water, or if I put my sister in the water, then she'd probably get carried off by the waves, and that wouldn't be great. Well, for my parents, I have different opinions on the matter. But we went up to the rocks one day, just to see the ocean during sunset. And on the way up to the rocks, which was only, like, I don't know, 100 yards or something, my sister screamed 310 at the top, and I'm like, 310 what? 310 spoons. She found 310 spoons just while walking up the rocks, and that's, like, only a small percentage of the trash that was on there. And that beach, so beautiful, and as I watched the waves, I'm like, wow, how are not so many people here? And then I turn around and there's so much trash. And I see like people, they're just walking around and there's a trash can right next to them and they throw it on the sand. And I guess they're probably thinking, hey, that's not the most important thing here. I have so many other things to worry about. But it's so sad to see because this beach could be so popular, an amazing tourist attraction, and just a great place to visit. But with the trash, no one wants to come there. Those are all the insights I've gained in India overall. And I feel like the one that stuck out to me the most was the poverty, because that comes in many different forms, like I talked about with the stray dogs and the poverty itself with people. It's really upsetting to see, and it really reminds me how lucky I am and how lucky most of us are in America to have the lives that we do now. And just to think that middle-class people in America are living so much more comfortably than middle class in India. And even people who are well off. That brings me to another point, like, for example, girls walking down the street, like, alone at night, they have to be very careful because, you know, it's really dangerous to walk by yourself at night. And even the traffic situation as I'm watching the cars go by, it's so crowded, and I want to, like, jump because I feel like they're gonna hit someone because there's so many motorcycles here, and it's really scary to see. But I think we should all think about how fortunate we are to live how we are now and where we are now. And I really hope that sometime you or me can help the people live to how we are, or just help them live more comfortably. Thank you. Bye.